Joining us this morning is Mr. Yusuf Muyideen, a regular here on the program and also a public affairs analyst. Very good morning to you. Thank you so much. I think you wanted to protest a little bit back there.
No.
Geospatial
analyst.
Geospatial analyst.
Yeah.
Well, I beg your pardon. A geospatial analyst, Yusuf Muyideen, joining us here.
Good morning
in the studio.
Good morning, viewers, and it's good to be on the Advocate TV. As I always say, the Advocate waiting makes sense.
And we will continue to advocate that. Well, let's pick up from the NUPRC raising an alarm on the drop in Nigeria's crude oil production, which is at a 1.63 million barrels per day level. This is quite a drastic drop. Should we be concerned, or should we be happy at a time when there are calls for the diversification of the economy and a tilt away from the oil and gas sector as a major source of revenue for the country?
If there's a drop in anything that you own as a mix of livelihood, a means of your economic sustenance, when you have a drop on it, it's really something for concern. So we should be concerned. Whatever is a variable factor that lead to such a drop, I think it should be addressed by the authority that are concerned in due course. Because of the terrain and the insecurity along the waterline and some other technical issues or glitches and maybe weather related and other things. Sometimes in the oil sector and the oil mining regime, there may be some little problem, but I think the technicians and those who are paid to do the job should up their game so that we can have, because as it is today, the petroleum sector is the life wire of the Nigerian economy. Although the present president is doing a lot to make a shift and bring other sources like the agriculture and mining into the fold of our economic generation. But as it is today, oil sector is still the more than 75% of our earning is coming from there. So I think those people who are mining that sector should up their game so that they can sustain the level of input that will give us what we need. You can see that in the last sharing that the FAC allocation was shared. The largest in the history of Nigeria was shared, about 2 trillion, more than 2 trillion naira was shared among the 3 tiers of government.
That's
and
correct.
This is a result of offshoot in our oil sector. If this occur, going forward, we may have a shortfall in the sharing that will be accrued to the state government and the local government. And as such, the stability that we're about to experience may be stagnated if it's allowed to continue. So for those who are saddled with mining the oil sector, they should up their game so that we can have a fulfilled day in the days ahead.
Well, when you talk about people who are saddled with the responsibility of drilling and extracting this crude oil, stepping up and upping their game in such a way that we will increase the number of millions of barrels per day that the country produces. What exactly is the problem? You listed out a number of possibilities, but we have not gotten a clear-cut statement, even from the NNPC Limited as at today, with regards to why there is a drastic drop in crude oil production in the country. And of course, it's only common for NUPRC to raise the alarm. But in raising the alarm, what exactly is the root cause?
You see, in one of these programs, I said one of the OPEC industry in Nigeria that the more you look, the less you see is the petroleum sector. But when there is a drop in production, you will look at some variable. One of them is insecurity and the vandalization of the pipeline. I think a company like Tantita, belonging to Tompolo, and SY Niger Data Agitator, who now became a security expert in mining the pipeline, have been doing a yeoman job over the years, and that's give us stability. And the oil sector is manned by the IOC, the International Organization of Petroleum Companies. The IOC, sometimes due to transparent issue, may give false alarm and all the likes. So the viability is best known to those people and the sector, and the government should still spot a satellite on them, so that the sector will continue to be viable to drive our economy. If not, because all over the years, we don't even know the quantum of oil that is leaving the shore of Nigeria. So with this government coming in and putting them on their toes, we have a relative increase over the month under proceeding.
Yeah.
But now that this occur, that's why I said those people that are saddled from the technical team in the NNPC, they have a team of technicians that are saddled with working with the IOC, so that they'll be able to check what is being drilled. If you look at the Saudi Aramco, they have a system that if you are seated at the palace of the king in Riyadh and you are drilling from any well in the Saudi Arabia, at the palace of the king of Saudi Arabia, they will know what you are drilling and what is supposed to come to the pulse of the government. So this is the technical team, is a kind of a technology that attached to the drills and simultaneously show you the quantum of oil being drilled off their land. So I think it's high time the NNPC and those that are manning the technical aspect will employ this technology so that we can get the actual figure of oil that's coming out of our soil, so that we can benefit on the maximal level in the course of time.
Now, let's talk about the sharp increase. While we're talking about a drastic decline in crude oil output, let's talk about the increase in import of crude oil in the country. We hear that Nigeria itself has recorded a sharp increase in its crude oil imports by 26.5%, which is 5,665,602 metric tons in the first half of 2025 alone, away from 4,478,413 metric tons in the corresponding period of 2024. While our output as a country continues to drop, our importation as a nation continues to rise. Is this an error?
No, the problem is that that's why I've said it earlier. The most opaque sector in the Nigerian economic space is the petroleum sector, which should have been the most transparent, because most of the economic life wire of Nigeria revolve around that particular industry. So the people in that sector know the game they are playing. Look at the subsidy regime. It's like the more you look, the less you see. So the people in that sector, they are the one that knows what they are doing and how they are doing it. But by and large, why there can be export, in recent year, there is a lot of drive in the security aspect. And when the security aspect improve, a lot of drilling will be drilled. And maybe those drilling are above expectation. And so now we have a storage. And if there is need in the market, you have a store, you have something in the store, you have to push it outside there. Now that there is a drop in the quarter being drilled and being getting out of the soil, in the days ahead or in the month ahead, you will see that there will be a decline in what we put out. But this is the time preceding this drop. So, and we have a consistent, mostly the pipeline vandalism, and there has been a peaceful regime in the Niger Delta from the militants and other things. There have been a calm, maybe something of calmness. So that's what led to the way the government is handling the issue. So by and large, the petroleum sector handlers, they have not been look at what is happening as far as Dangote is concerned. Even as you are talking about increase today, we are exporting finished products through the Dangote, from the kerosene or diesel, bitumen and other residue and plastic and the likes.
But while we give kudos to Dangote Refinery, it's also important to note that this sharp rise in crude oil importation is also partly attributed to the Dangote Refinery importing about 650,000 barrels of crude per day into the country.
No, the oil sector is a multifaceted sector. Like now, if you have a crude, there is a particular type of crude you need to blend. It may not be what we peculiar to our environment, our own domain. We have a bent crude of soot that is one of the best grade. But sometimes you need a particular flexibility in the cracking of this petroleum. So you need to bring in a particular variety so that you can do the cracking and mix them so that you can give you the best. As technology evolves, vehicle needs some hybrid fuel to run. So, and if you don't have the particular type in your country, you may bring them in. So vis-a-vis, the Dangote Refinery must get such particular, like the Venezuelan type is different from what we have in Nigeria. The United States type of crude is different from, but Nigeria have the best bench crude. It is graded as the best in the world. In the Nigerian type. Yeah. So other countries normally need that of Nigeria so that they can blend it. And some of the vehicle that we run today, like now if the Japanese make a car, they may use the type of crude they have in their country to test run the car and the efficiency. So if we need to bring, maybe we use mostly Toyota in this part of the world.
We have to import
some of those from those parts of the world so that we can blend it. And that's
where that particular type of crude is found.
So that's how multifaceted the oil sector is. So you need, it's an international body. Yeah. In fact, in the petroleum sector, they have the universal standard practice that's been regulated and monitored by the OPEC. If you can see the pricing, one of the only sectors that have uniform pricing on their products all over the world. Like at a particular time, the Brent crude benchmark for the sales of crude is the same across board all over the world. So that's why it is one of the most organized sector. Like the Petrobras of this world, the Aramco and the Shell and Chevron, they work together, and OPEC is there to serve as a regulatory and monetary body, just like you have the United Nations supervising all the politics of the world. In the petroleum sector, OPEC played that role, and Nigeria is a member of that particular body. That's why sometimes in the international dynamics of the oil sector, that's why you see that if there is any shift in any part of the world, it will affect the other. In fact, the pricing mechanism of crude and even the byproduct of this crude oil is being regularized and standardized across board to be uniform all over the world. They have championed that in that sector.
Now, still staying with the oil and gas sector, Mr. Yusuf, let's just take a look at the front page of the Vanguard newspaper in a moment. I'll get back to you to react to that developing story. Femi Otedola's remarks with regards to Dangote Refinery, his applauds to Dangote Refinery, and his knock on DAPPMAN. On the front page of the Vanguard, the headline story reads. In a moment, we'll take a look at the Vanguard newspaper with the headline story. Crude oil imports hit record high as Dangote Refinery reshapes trade flow. I'll take the headline story again. Crude oil imports hit record high as Dangote Refinery reshapes trade flow. Now above the masthead, Otedola to DAPPMAN. Your business model outdated. Dangote is transforming the petroleum sector. Now back to you, Mr. Yusuf. In your opinion, is Dangote really transforming the petroleum sector, or is he doing what he has been accused of several times in different sectors, monopolizing the economy?
You know, there is this say in local parlance of the outside people. If you see a child playing with the tail of a snake, somebody might have held the head for him. And Dangote has already gone before they wake up. He had support of the capitalist state in make sure that the refinery came on board. He collected a lot of forest from the Nigerian government to set up that refinery, and they've given him the backing. And over the years, these people that are trying to fight Dangote today, as far as I'm not a supporter of monopoly in my economic sense. Monopoly is not good for any economy. But when they hold sway in our petroleum sector, what we have is queue upon queue in the petroleum station. They manipulate the pricing regime. Anytime you want to buy petrol, you have to spend days. And that's what they are known for. To queue up.
So now he recently boasted about ending a 50-year run of fuel queues in the country.
Although before he came in, there have been, throughout Buhari tenure into this tenure, there has been deliberate effort to make sure that even the NNPC have tried a lot, making sure that there is no, although this particular set of people have always come to board to crack that regime. Sometimes they hoard, most of those times that we are bringing in the finished product from abroad, they will hoard it in the tank farm, make sure that there is no movement of tanker, and at the end of the day, there will be scarcity. And at that particular time, they carve a niche for themselves to make quick money. When you don't get at any price you get, you will buy. So all over the year. So now Dangote has come with a regime that want to give us at least a stable supply in the market. So and they say it's what you have at hand that you cherish. So Dangote, as it is today, building the single largest chain refinery in the world, the 6th largest in the world, is something that has put Nigeria on the global map
of the oil and gas
industry.
sector.
Then the byproduct of petroleum, you can now, this airline fuel is being gotten in Nigeria at real time. We don't need to bring it from other countries
because it's been readily supplied by
Dangote Refinery. So we are leaving them. Dangote has left them behind. Monopoly or no monopoly. And what the Dangote is trying to do to them is that they up their game or they get out of the market. So monopoly does not exist except when you have a lot of lazy bunch. We have suffered a lot of ill fate in their hands. So if Dangote will step out, look at it when Dangote went into cement. Today we have Bua, today we have Mangal, today Lafarge is coming out stronger. So that competition is expanding, and today Nigeria is making huge revenue from cement that we sell, import and export of cement. So the oil sector today, as I said yesterday, I heard that Dangote supply finished petrol to the United States of America. So these are the quick gains of the Dangote Refinery that will earn Nigeria more revenue. Over the year, these people that are trying to fight, what have they been able to do to build their own refinery and put it in place? So Dangote has left them behind. All they need to do is to play a catch-up game. They should set up their own refinery and compete with Dangote.
The argument of DAPPMAN is the fact that incentives that the Dangote Refinery is throwing into the market, like the Free Fuel Monday that they are introducing, starting off in a number of states. I don't know if you heard about it. The Free Fuel Monday thing. That is one. Also, the free distribution of their products from their refinery via the CNG powered trucks that he recently acquired.
4,000 of them.
Exactly, which caused the bone of contention between Dangote Refinery and NUPRC much recently. Now, some of these technicalities and freebies that Dangote is throwing into the market is now taking away the relevance of the system that has already been there. Is this true? And should it be fought the way that DAPPMAN, the way that NUPRC, the way that others are fighting it?
Let me give you an analogy. When they started this PIB bill at the National Assembly, where were they?
Well, I believe
were they asleep?
I believe they were already in existence.
Now the bill has been passed, and this bill is to deregulate the petroleum sector
and the Petroleum Industry Act
to make it competitive. So Dangote setting up his refinery as a private owner of that refinery. I think Nigeria have some stake in the refinery, and as a government, the Buhari government play a yeoman role. The former GMD of the NNPC to make sure that refinery Mele play a yeoman role to make sure that Dangote refinery. Look, Dangote has done well for himself. Monopoly or no monopoly, today I want to drive into a filling station and get my fuel at real time. If it's 2 liter or 3 liter that I will be able to buy, I should buy and not have. They have been passed by Dangote. Now, all over the year when they hold sway, what was their antecedent? Is hoarding. It's the same set of people that head Nigerian by jugular vein collecting subsidy. These are same sort of people where Nigeria is paying subsidy for a product that we have in abundance. Where were they to advise the government? Now, if they cannot compete with Dangote, because the sector has been liberalized, and there's no law that says Dangote should comply with them. Although the business model of Dangote, to my mind, is too capitalist in nature, and is sometimes have the content of monopoly.
That a lot of people have accused.
Going forth and back, Dangote has already left them behind. They are the one that should up their game. If they have the money and they have the power, they set up their own refinery. In 2, 3, 4, 5 years, they can bring up a refinery and compete favorably. Since Nigeria is an oil-producing country, we have one of the largest or the 3rd or 5th reserve in the world. So, if you have a product like recently, the president banned the export of raw shea nuts to outside the country. Do you know what caused that? In Niger State, a 3,000 or 30,000 metric tons per month has been set up by the Niger State government, and they will soon be exporting finished processed shea butter to the outside world, and that will earn revenue So it's the same thing that's happening now. If you cannot, if the heat in the kitchen is too much for you, it's better you leave the kitchen. You can't continue to help people. Bua is doing something in Akwa Ibom that will still come on board. There are smaller modular refinery, even somewhere in Edo, somewhere in Imo State. So when this refinery come on board, you can't tell me how I will sell my products. Does MTN tell Airtel how they coordinate their... So the era of them dictating the pace is fading away. Well, but the only thing is that we should watch Dangote not to monopolize the system too. That's just this. We have to be balanced.
All right, Mr. Yusuf Muyideen, I think it's a fine place to leave the discussion. I'm afraid we will have to let you go to open up the floor for yet another guest to come into the studio, but it's been a pleasure having you here, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you
really
so
appreciate
much.
it.